Back in 2014, I had one of my most memorable interviews with OSU entomologist Dr. Wyatt Hoback, who studies the American burying beetle. Now some of his fellow scientists in other departments are joining forces with him to study what could become a very important insect. Burying beetles are attracted to the smell of dead rodents and birds.
They find the animal, and then if it's the right size for these beetles, they'll actually work together, male and female, to bury it in the ground. After they do that, they're going to use the resources in the body of this animal to raise their offspring.
Once buried, the carcass is protected from predators above the ground, but the beetle also protects it from decay below ground.
So these beetles will secrete this bright brown liquid from their mouth and from their back end. And that brown liquid actually helps to digest part of the carcass, but also preserve part of the carcass. Correct. And this is the brown goo that we're so excited about. And that material contains both enzymes, and it also contains microbes that are in the guts of these beetles. But no one had really looked into the molecular mechanisms that allow this to work. And a few years back, the Vice Chancellor of Research funded a collaborative project between myself and Dr. Gustafson. And then Dr. Hagen came along, and we've been researching how these beetles preserve carcasses and how the microbiome, the bacteria inside their guts, helps in that process.
What we're really excited about is actually analyzing what's referred to as the microbiome of this organism. Now, the microbiome is a collection of microbes that live within and on an organism.
Dr. Darren Hagen is examining the genetic sequence of the beetle.
We were the group that did all the genomics and computational biology, and so we were very interested in understanding what genes are turned on or turned off when the burying beetle finds its prey and starts feeding on it. The idea being that as it recognizes a dead carcass and starts to feed, certain genes would be turned on that might not otherwise be on. We will continue to follow up on that and try to understand any role those genes might play in the preservation of the carcass.
The hope is that this research will lead to new antibiotic treatments. And while that would certainly be good news for the medical field, it could also benefit the meat industry.
There's a lot of potential. So as humans seek new ways to combat bacteria, and antimicrobial resistant bacteria is becoming a huge problem.
In the livestock industry, at least, we've moved away from using antibiotics as much as possible. And so this could potentially serve as a natural source of bacterial suppression. If you think about slaughter plants, it's key to keep bacteria out or at a really low rate, and perhaps maybe one day we make these totally natural products that we can sort of spritz around the plant and keep the bacteria at bay.
The research is especially critical right now because the American burying beetle is considered a threatened species.